What's good, y'all? Welcome back. In this video, I'll be breaking down my process for the intro video section of the portfolio project for Semeion Robinson. I think video still has a lot of value on websites, either in the hero sections or just below the hero section. Videos can keep users on the site and engaged and curious for more, which is why I wanted to include one for Semeion's site. Before approaching this particular video, I needed to ask myself some questions. I needed to ask how long I wanted the video to be, and I was thinking maybe 30 to 60 seconds at most. And also, what do I think potential clients would want to know and see from Semeion? And I thought it would be very helpful to tell a very short story. Who is he? What does he do? Where does he do it from? What industries does he serve? And how and when did he start? So I thought if I was able to answer all of these questions and squeeze them all into a 60-second video, then I thought that would be helpful for potential clients to really, in a nutshell, understand what Semeion is all about. Now, in order to bring this short story to life, I had to gather footage from his current content on YouTube, which has 182 videos. I mean, at the time, he maybe had like 160, 170, and I had to go through and watch and rewatch some of his stuff, and also go on Instagram and see what footage would be helpful for me to fill in the blanks to answer all these questions to tell this story about Semeion. So if there was a video that I found that I wanted to use, if I wanted to use this video, I would copy the link and I would paste it here in this application called 4K Video Downloader Plus. It's super simple to use. I'm using the free version. It's not paid, so you get 10 free downloads. So after you paste the link, you have the option to download all of these different quality versions, and I usually go with the 1080 and I'll download it. So I downloaded a ton of videos, and I had to bookmark where in the video I thought would be helpful to include in the editing process. And then if I found something on Instagram, it was the same process, but I would use the website called Pt.2. Well, this was previously something else before, but it looks like they had to move this website. So this didn't even show up before. So they're still Snap-Insta, but they've had to change their URL for some reason. So it's Snap-Insta.to. After I've captured all the footage that I need, I jump into Premiere Pro, and this is basically what my timeline looks like. It's fairly organized. There's some messiness over here on the right, but just taking a closer look at this. So here I have the main footage and audio that's tied together, but they're both nested. So I've actually chopped these up before and just nested them to make it more organized. I did the same thing with the main footage, all the stuff that I found from YouTube and Instagram. And then these videos on the top here, I decided to replace certain sections of the main footage and just throw it on top, and I thought it would be more appropriate to add those in those particular sections, because really the main goal is, like, as he's talking, I want to make sure that I'm also showing his work and making it relevant to exactly what he's saying at the time. If he's talking about he started out in fitness, I want to make sure I want to have some fitness shots in there too. I want to make sure it all makes sense. And on the very top part of the top row here of the timeline, I have captions. I actually have these hidden, and this was a last minute decision. I thought if someone is clicking on the video on his website, but they're at work or whatever, they don't want to turn on the volume, they're worried or whatever, they could just let it play and just read through the captions. I actually copied and pasted these manually rather than using the what is this called? The captions tool. So typically, I've done this in a few videos before, but I decided not to do this. It doesn't, the transcribing doesn't always match up with what he's saying, so I decided to just go through it and do it manually. It really didn't take that long, so it wasn't that bad. But that's basically my process. You know, I like how the video turned out. I think it encapsulates everything that Semeion is about and what he does, you know, what his beliefs are and things like that. So I really like how it turned out. You know, let me know, you guys, if you want me to share the final video here on YouTube, and, you know, just hit me up. And if you have any questions about the video editing process, you know, you could also ask about that too. Now, I will say that video editing is a skill I've developed over time, and while it's not my main money maker, it's still a valuable skill to have for clients that want a reel or a showcase or intro video for their website. So you don't have to be super advanced as far as video editing, and you could also use other tools. I like using Adobe Premiere Pro. There's, you know, even iMovie, there's Final Cut Pro. There are a lot of other tools you could use in CapCut. You could use that too. So there are a lot of other tools, as long as you have the basics down. Like, I'm not even using any fancy transitions or anything in this particular video, because I just wanted to get across his story and do it in like very quickly and cohesively. So if you found this stuff helpful, smack the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll get with you guys next time. Appreciate you. Peace.